Hi, my name is Mia. Welcome to Scrubs and Savings. I'm a 22-year-old new grad nurse documenting how I'm living intentionally, spending joyfully, and giving generously. And today I'm going to be sharing exactly how I use my credit cards specifically for travel rewards. Now, credit cards can be such valuable tools for earning rewards, but they can also get you in trouble if used irresponsibly. I always pay my statement balances in full every month to avoid credit card debt and interest, and I never spend more money than I need to spend specifically just to get points. The credit card setup that makes sense for me may not make sense for you, so make sure that your credit cards fit your financial situation. With that being said, I'm going to go through what cards I have, how I use my cards for travel rewards, and how I manage my credit card use in general. I currently have 6 credit cards. The first card that I ever got was the Apple card. My dad made me an authorized user on this credit card so I could build my credit. It has no annual fee and it earns 3% cash back on Apple products and other select vendors, 2% when using Apple Pay, and 1% back on all other purchases. I don't use this card at all anymore because I don't want to get cash back, but rather earn points so that I can transfer to travel partners. The second card that I got was the Chase Freedom Student, and I got it because I started to feel comfortable using credit cards on my own, and I also wanted to start earning Chase Ultimate Rewards points. This card has no annual fee and it earns 1 point per dollar. The third card that I got was the Capital One Savor Student card, and I got this card because I wanted to start earning more back on my highest spend categories, which at the time were dining out and entertainment. This card has no annual fee and it earns 3% back on groceries, dining, entertainment, and select streaming services. My fourth card was the Chase Freedom Unlimited. I got this card because I wanted a higher spending multiplier on just regular everyday purchases and start earning even more Ultimate Rewards points. It has no annual fee and earns 1.5 points per dollar. The fifth card that I got was the AMEX Gold, which I got in July. I was actually not planning to get this card for a little bit. I was planning to get the Chase Freedom Flex and Sapphire Preferred. However, I received a sign-up bonus offer in the mail for 100,000 membership rewards points by spending $6,000 in 6 months, which I know I would be able to do with my natural spending. So I signed up for it despite the high annual fee. I am so happy that I got this card because I have already used my membership rewards points to help me book a round-trip flight from where I live to Paris, France. And this card earns 4 times points on dining and groceries and 3 times points on flights. And my newest card is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which I actually got this month so that I can start using my Ultimate Rewards points for travel redemptions. It has a $95 annual fee and earns 5 times points on Chase Travel, 2 times points on all other travel purchases, and 3 times on dining, online groceries, and select streaming services. And I'm currently working on getting the 75,000 point sign up bonus by spending $5,000 in 3 months. And it's pretty timely because I do need to purchase new tires for my car, which are going to be a hefty expense. There are 2 ways that I'm earning points. The first being using the right card to earn the most points on certain spending categories. For example, I would rather use my AMEX Gold for dining and grocery purchases compared to my Chase Freedom Unlimited. And the second way that I'm earning points, as I talked about before, is getting sign-up bonuses. And as for how I actually use my points, is actually not using the points through the company's travel rewards portal, but instead transferring the points to the company's transfer partners, which often gives you the most bang for your buck. For example, I recently booked a round-trip flight to Paris for 2 people using 84,000 membership rewards points by transferring my points from my Amex membership rewards to my Flying Blue account. In comparison, if I booked the same exact trip through the AMEX travel portal, it would have cost me 420,000 points. And then to ensure that you're getting good value for your points, you can use the cent per point calculation, which involves finding the cash price of your flights, subtracting the total fees that you have to pay for the flight anyway, then dividing it by the amount of points you need to get that travel rewards redemption, and then multiplying that by 100. So for example, if the cash price of those tickets was $4,000, I would then subtract $600 that we had to pay out of pocket, which would then be $3,400. And then if we divide that by 84,000 points and multiply it by 100, our cent per point valuation would be 4 cents per point. And then a good rule of thumb, if the redemption is worth the value, is that it's at least 2 cents per point. And then to find these travel rewards seats, you can use search tools like Roam or Seats Arrow, and you could also look directly on the airline or hotel's website. I plan on getting many more cards in the future, so it's very important for me to stay organized. I already know what card to use for each expense, but if it gets too complicated, I can, of course, use a spreadsheet, make a list on my phone, and I've heard of people actually putting little label stickers on the cards to remember what they're for. And then as for how I'm tracking my points, I'm actually using a special little budget on YNAB specifically to track how many points that I have with each credit card company and tracking my redemptions just as how I do with my normal budget. I'm just at the beginning of my credit card journey, so I haven't gotten to the point where I may consider closing or downgrading a credit card, but factors that I would consider is if I'm using enough of the card's credits to offset the annual fee, if I'm comfortable paying that card's annual fee, because it could get pretty expensive with how many cards I want to get, and if I'm still getting good travel rewards redemptions with that card. And then the cards that I want to get next are the Chase Freedom Flex to complete the Chase trifecta and start earning points on their rotating categories, the Bilt Rewards card for rent, and then the Capital One Venture X, not only to start earning 2 times back on every purchase, but also use the miles that I have from my Savor Ones card for travel rewards redemptions and access to new transfer partners. I think that's about it for my credit card strategy. Thank you so much for watching this video all the way through. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I would love to hear if you guys use credit cards, and if you do, if you're on Team Cashback or Team Travel. And I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.